Thanks for joining me today. As always, this is just a demonstration of how I go about doing things. If you have a better way, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. If you decide to do one of these skills yourself, I would encourage you to research multiple sources. I've included a couple of excellent links in the description, as well as links to me doing these skills in real life. Enjoy the video, and I'll see you on the next skill. Today we're going to make one of the simplest camping breakfasts I know. Almost everybody loves eggs for breakfast. If you don't, this breakfast isn't for you. So I start with some eggs. It's for me and my wife, so we're going to start with 5. Pour in a little bit of milk. If you've made an omelette, this might sound familiar. Then just going to mix the milk and the eggs together. Don't have to do a terribly good job here, because by the time you get to your camping spot, everything should be pretty well mixed. Okay, once it's mixed, then whatever you like in your omelet. I like some onion, as does my wife. Luckily, we like about the same thing. Some onion, some pepper. This is actually out of our garden, one of the few things that grew this year. Some cheese, and then we happen to have some leftover crawdads and shrimp, so we're just going to use those for this. And we like a little bit of heat with our omelet, so we're going to put in a little bit of hot sauce. We can always add a little bit more there. So now, I'm just going to give that all a good stir. Get it mixed around. So then you need a couple of freezer Ziploc bags. You don't want like the cheap sandwich bags or whatever. You want like a freezer bag. If you turn them like this, then they should keep most of the ingredients on the inside rather than the outside. See how good I actually do with this. One of these will invariably end up with less egg in it than the other, but that's good because one's for me and one's for my wife. Then once you have the egg concoction in there, then what you're going to want to do, like a good counter works great. You're going to want to take as much of the air out of there as you possibly can, so that it looks like that. And that's the at-home preparation right there. We'll do the other one. If you have a large group, at this point, especially if everybody has different ingredients, then you probably want to write your name on it. And that name, it'll hold up okay to the cooking method. So, all right. So there we are. Camp breakfast is prepared and just ready to go. Tomorrow morning, once we get up and ready to eat, then we'll have our breakfasts. When I'm going someplace and I don't want to worry about like glass jars or things breaking, then a nice plastic jar like this works pretty well. So this will just stay in the refrigerator, then the ice box. Once we get to our camping area, it'll be plenty cool there. Okay, so today we're gonna cook our super simple camp breakfast. Prepared it at home, and now it's time to cook it. Put a little ice in the jar just to keep it cold on the way here, and then everything stayed really cold last night, so it was perfect. So what you'll need to cook this is your eggs in a Ziploc bag, freezer bag, some sort of a pot and some way to boil water in it. Then all we're going to do is just take these Ziploc bags and place them in the pot, and then let the water boil until the eggs are cooked. It's super simple. About the only thing that can go wrong here, and it can definitely go wrong, is if the plastic bags touch the side of the pot without water, then they will melt. So that's the only thing that you do have to keep in mind when you're doing this. What I like to do, just to keep it from touching the sides of the pot, is put a nice rock in there. Now they won't bubble up and touch dry pot. That's what's going on. Got too much water in my pot. Usually I'm cooking for more people, so I have a bigger pot. There we go. You can see that air bubble on top. As it gets warm, that air will expand, and so that's why keeping a close eye on it and making sure that it doesn't touch dry pot gets to be really important. Once it gets to a good boil, then what we'll do, then we'll turn down the flame. All right, so eggs been boiling about 12 minutes or so. You can see that as they get warm, the air tends to get, don't do that. All right, so epic fail-ish. So that bag must have, you can see here on the bottom, got a little warm up against the pot. So unfortunately, that was my eggs and not my wife's. What I should have done is pulled that rock out first, which was my original plan. Then I was like, nah, I'll just grab the bag instead. So I think I found the cause of my ripped bag. I had never used a rock before. It just seemed like a good idea to keep the bags in place. What you can see happened is that the rock basically put it in contact with the pot, and then the pot, it boiled dry right where the rock was. So ex-nay on the rock, you just have to tend it. Use a little bigger pot. I brought a really small pot just because there was 2 of us. But yeah. So just don't use a rock, and then just stir it around so that it doesn't touch the side of the pot, and you'll have better success. A little bit of pine needle. The link will take you to another skill you need to know.